Acrylic pour painting is as easy as the thousands of videos that I've seen on it say it is. I've not done it before, so I don't know, but it is a bit of a case of all the gear, no idea. So I'm going to try 3 different methods. I've got my medium, I've got my glycerin, I've got my paints, and a little tray here to do it in to try and keep the mess together. It won't happen, I know, but I'm going to try anyway. So stick with me and we'll see what comes up. So first thing I have to do is mix my colours up, and I'm going to be using 50% of this to 50% of the actual colour. So that should take 200 mils of each one. I'm going to not add it all in at once because I might not need as much of that as the actual paint, because it does say mix it up until you get the consistency you want. You see, that is given, even though I've put nowhere near as much as I said I've put in, probably about 10%, that has still given a lovely colour, and it's nice and thin. I don't need as much paint as I thought I did in this, and that's still running really, really well. So I'm not going to put that much paint in them, nowhere near. So what I might do is about 5% paint. And then once I've done that, I can pour that in there, into my bottle, making as little mess as I possibly can, which, unlike me, I seem to have done. And then all I'm going to add to this is a drop of this silicone as well, to see if I can get some cells and give that a good shake in there. That's nicely mixed up. And I'm going to do all my colours the same way. Well, I've got all my paints mixed up now, and you know, I'm actually quite nervous about doing this. It's because I haven't done it before, and I'm sure I'm going to mess it up. The first one I'm going to try is a swipe, and I think I'm doing this right. I've got my black mixed up, and I'm going to use black to start with. What I really need is some push pins on each of these corners so I can push these in and then have something to put my fingers under, but unfortunately, I don't seem to have any. So I thought I was all the gear, but no idea, but apparently I'm not. So I'm going to put my first layer down here, which is quite a lot, and it is quite nice and runny, and I'm sure it uses a lot of paint. I'm going to move that around with a lolly stick so it's coated on there anyway, because you're going to get a lot more on there, aren't you? But at least when you've got it coated, then you can move it about a little bit more. I'm going to let it run down the sides because I think that's quite important too. And the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to put some yellow on here, some white, some blue, and some red. Why not? I've got them all. Why not use them? I'm just going to lay my piece of paper on there and pull that over like that. Take that off and see what happens. Oh, someone did say go over it with a hot air gun, which gets rid of some of the bubbles. I think maybe I put too much silicone oil in it. Silicone self-forming oil, but I only actually put 2 drops in it. But it's definitely starting to do its thing. And now I'm going to do the same from this end. I'm going to do quite a lot here. Bit of blue, bit of red, and some yellow. Bit of paper on there like that, and lightly draw that across. And again, go over it with a torch. It does seem to be making some divots and things. Obviously, it does take a bit of time. So we'll give that a few minutes and then we'll come back to it and have a look at it before I do the next one. So that's had about a couple of minutes now to do its thing. What I'm doing is just giving that a little bit of a help by tipping up the canvas and getting it to flow. Well, I have no idea how long that takes to dry, so what I'm going to do is put that to one side and prep for the next one. So this one I'm going to do, I think, is called a Dutch pour, if I remember rightly. And what I'm going to use for this one is a white base. I'm using quite a lot this time. And I'm going to use my hairdryer to move it around. Try and keep the cable out. Oh, look, it's all in it. It's everywhere. Okay, and I should be able to move that around now. See, I think this stuff's a bit thick. It's kind of as soon as I heat it, put heat on it as well, it's making like a skin on it. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a line colour through it, like that. Bit of blue on it, bit of red on it, and of course, I've got to have some black. I'm just going to use that. twisting and pouring that over. I quite like all that white there, so I'm quite happy to leave that there. And let's see if any cells appear. Let's go over it with this flame, even though I think that's going to just make it worse. Oh no, some are definitely appearing, look. This is harder than what it looks. I'm going to have to say that, for me anyway, because I most probably am not doing it right. I want a little bit more here. There's too much white here, so I'm going to put a bit more of the paints here, and then blow that about a bit. Yeah, that hot air from the hairdryer has definitely created a skin there already, and I don't want that, so that can't be right. Well, it's definitely starting to sell up. I think that looks quite pretty. So the next one I'm going to do is using a cup, and we'll see how that works out. So I'm using the yellow base here. I've just put a splodge of yellow down there, and now I'm going to do the rest in my cup. So I don't want yellow to start with, do we? Have a bit of black, then some white, some blue on that. I have no idea what I'm doing. And some red, a bit more white, if there's any left. No, there's none left. Oh well, we'll go to blue again. Right, let's see if we can turn this over without making a mess. And now all I'm doing is moving this around. People make such beautiful things with this as well. I've seen it. I'm not making it up. I've seen it. Why can't I? It's all about practice, isn't it? Of course it is. Okay, so I think that's as good as that one's going to get. I am going to go over that one with the flames, see if that helps. So what I'm going to do now is leave that one as well alone to see what happens. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to move that a little bit, see if I can stretch some of those cells out. See, it's got that skin on it again straight away. Maybe I shouldn't be using flame on it, or maybe I shouldn't be using this stuff on it. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm now going to leave that one as well to dry. I'm going to leave the paint in there as well, because I'm going to let that turn into a skin. Hopefully I can use that for something, and then we can look at them when they're dry. Please, people, make sure you give me lots of tips and tricks in those comments. Well, these have all dried now, and I have to say, very disappointed in them. That one's not too bad, but not brilliant. That one, I really like this bit here, but there's all these dimples in it. I don't know what caused those. And if you know what causes those, perhaps too much silicone oil or not enough paint, who knows. And again, dimples in this one. Massive dimple there, look. Massive. I could almost fall in that. Well, that didn't work out very well, did it? Flipping heck. I tell you, this is so much harder than I thought it was ever going to be. And I made so much mess, you wouldn't believe. I was covered in paint. But I'm definitely going to have another go and see if I can improve it. I'm going to pour over the top of these canvases because I ain't going to waste them again. Don't forget to boot that like button. It really does help my videos to get out there. I really do appreciate it. And hopefully, I'll get lots of support and comments on how I can improve on my paint pouring. Links to everything are in the description below. Take care. Enjoy your crafting. Bye.